Hey guys, Jack here from Gingerbets and welcome to the Gingerbets Golf Betting Insights weekly YouTube show where this week I'm previewing the Honda Classic taking place in South Florida. PGA National will host the world's best players in what's going to be a magnificent event to watch. None of this low scoring this week, I'm sure of it. We're going to be looking at a tough test where every part of the players' game's going to be put through the ringer, and the player who lifts that trophy come Sunday night will certainly have earned it. If you're new to this channel, let me tell you what I do each and every week for the up-and-coming PGA Tour event that's taking place. I look to break down the course, the key skill sets that are going to be required to lift that trophy come Sunday night, and then I bring you my best outright selections each and every week. So if you're new to golf betting, just getting into it, or an established sports bettor, then I suggest you stay tuned for the next 5, 6, 7 minutes where I'll reveal my best picks and some key insights to help you with your golf betting. If you do take your golf betting seriously though, may I encourage you, take a look in the description box at the end of this video, not just yet, where you will find details of the Gingerbets Golf Betting Insights weekly newsletter. Free of charge, loads of information that help you with your golf betting. So much more than I can bring you in this short video. I'm not going to go into it too much this week, but take a look, it's worth it. It will help you beat the bookmakers more consistently and give you an edge, that's for sure. But in this short video, it is the breakdown of the course, the skill sets required and the outright selections, and I've got a little bit of extra information towards the end. So the course itself this week, it's going to be an absolute brute for the players. Par 70, 7,100 yards, 2 par 5s, not what the players like. They prefer the 4 par 5s to give themselves some respite. On this course, the back 9 is significantly harder than the front 9. We've got 6 of the hardest holes sitting on the back 9 and the world famous bear trap. 15, 16 and 17. We've got the par 3, the par 4 and again the par 3 17 that can make or break each player's final round. First round, second round. It can take them to the cleaners and end many a run at this tournament. The course and the par 3s are particularly hard as well, so that's something to pay attention to, and we'll come on to that later in the video. This week, it's all about ball striking, and as I've said in my written preview, with Eminem performing last week at the Super Bowl, this is now the time for the real tee to green experts to please stand up. Well, let's get to it with the key skill sets required. We've just touched upon it. Tee to green performance is imperative this week. I want to look at players who are dialed in consistently from the tee box in approach play and making the game easy for them, giving themselves best chance of making birdies. So that's the first point I want to consider. This is a ball striking test without a shadow of a doubt. This is 1 week on the PGA Tour that you can forget those players that have inconsistent putting, and if you like someone who's a top quality ball striker, stick him in your outright selection, stick him in your outsiders and stick him in your Draftkings lineups. This is the week to go for that type of player. So approach play will be number 2, but I want to dial it in a bit deeper. I want to look at 150 to 200 yards, and the reason being there are more shots than average from that distance, and the players that have proven successful at this event have dialed it in with their mid to long irons all of the 4 rounds that they've been in the game. Then I want to look at par 3 scoring. The par 3s here are some of the hardest on the whole of the PGA Tour. They rank in the top 3 hardest course par 3s of all the courses the players face all year, each of them over 175 yards or longer. So therefore, that is something that I want to pay particular attention to. It ties in with approach play. It's all about that mid to long iron game this week. And finally, I want to look at bogey avoidance and scrambling. These are 2 stats that I think are going to be important. On average, the players are going to miss 35-40% of their greens this week, and that means they're going to have to get up and down consistently, battle for par, and not go down that leaderboard. So it is all about ball striking this week. It's tee to green, it's approach play, it's 150 to 200 yards. It's par 3 scoring. If you're looking to fine tune your final portfolio, I'd pay particular attention to that par 3 scoring, and then bogey avoidance and scrambling. So now the bit that you all tune in for really, these outright selections. I'm confident this week. I must apologise, now's the time to do it. Last week was probably one of the worst weeks that I've put forward since recording these videos. I felt comfortable with the selections going into the week, but after day 1 with Rahm disappointing, albeit striking the ball incredibly well, last in putting or second last, first in tee to green performance, he let me down, and then the rest of the portfolio followed. So I must apologise to you, but don't give up just yet. Stick with it. We've got a proven track record here for beating the bookmakers over time, and we've had plenty of place finishes, 2 second losses in a playoff, so we're not too far away. So the headline selection for this week, well, he's a player that people have divided opinion on, and myself included, but if he's going to win a PGA Tour event, a regular one that is outside of the majors, then this is the type of test he's going to do it on. He's going to dominate this course, in my opinion. This field is weak this week, and he has the ability. He's by far the best player in the field. He's a 4-time major champion, and statistically, he doesn't set up too bad. His approach play on tough courses is dialed in right now. 3rd on the PGA Tour over the last 50 rounds. He's also in the top 15 for bogey avoidance and strokes gained around the green. His game's not as bad as his results look. Brooks Koepka, 20-1. 8 places in the UK, outright win, BetMGM in the US, standout selection for me. I've got to take advantage. He's going to win a PGA Tour event by 3, 4, 5, 6 at a canter one day, and I think this could be the week. This is the type of test. Second up is another player looking for his first PGA Tour win. He's another major champ, though. He's got a claret jug to his name, and statistically, he's got this game dialed in for this type of test. Tee to green performance, he's 3rd on the PGA Tour over the last 36 rounds on tough scoring tracks. In approach play, he also sits 3rd, and then in bogey avoidance, scrambling, he's in the top 20. He's got the game. Has he got the temperament? Will he stay fit for 4 days? I'm prepared to take a chance. Louis Oosthuizen, 20-1, the South African, to get his first win on the PGA Tour. Now we're going to look a little deeper down that leaderboard and bring you one of the selections that also, if you have signed up to the newsletter, you might be aware of this already because this video is only being released Wednesday, a couple of days later than usual. This is a player that I'm extremely confident on. 4 top 20s in his last 5 starts, striking the ball extremely well. In fact, 2 of those were top 10s. He's puts well on the Bermuda grass greens that they face this week. In terms of strokes gained off the tee, which is going to be a key factor this week, he's 1st on hard scoring courses over the last 36 rounds. Also dialed in with his approach play. 33-1, Keith Mitchell, standout selection. He's a must bet for me this week. He's also being played in the top 20 markets. Those of you that play Draftkings, I'd include him in any match bet that I had. Maybe not the GPP pools where we're playing against people, where there'll be high ownership, but certainly if you're having a heads up or a 50-50 concept, I think he's a lock to make the cut and a top 20. 4th up, Johnny Vegas for me. He's dialed in on the tough courses. This is the type of test that he can outperform his odds in for sure. He's an inconsistent golfer, but he's amazing off the tee. His approach play isn't too bad of recent times. Tee to green, he sits 7th over the past 36 rounds on tour. Like I say, inconsistent form, but at 50-1, I'm prepared to take a chance. If he gets off to a hot start, expect him to stay around come the weekend. I think he's fair value for a place run at the very least. And then last but not least, can the Chileans go back-to-back? Mito Pereira will be my 5th and final selection. He was available 60-1 Unibet. That was wiped out in a few minutes when the markets opened Monday. He's still available 45-1, 8 places in the UK, 40-1 across the board in the USA. I think that's a standout price. I think that he's going to outrun his odds this week. A ball striker's test will suit him. Statistically, he sits in the top 20 for some of the key things we talked about. That's par 3 scoring, scrambling, bogey avoidance, and strokes gained approach over the last 36 rounds. He's returning to some of the form that he showed at the back end of last year, and I think that he's got an outstanding chance. Boy, the victory of Joaquin Niemann last week. Can the Chileans go back-to-back? Well, I think they've certainly got a chance. So that's it for my 5 selections this week. May encourage you, take a look in the description box below if you're into your golf. This is a newsletter not to be missed. It's free of charge. There's no sales pitch. There's no spam. It is just well-researched information to try and give you a better chance of placing more informed wagers time and time again. I'd be grateful if you take a look in the description box and sign up for that. And if you're enjoying the content, give it a like, a subscribe. Come on, get me to 500 users this week. It'd be amazing. 20 to go. Can we get 20 subscribers? It would be fantastic achievement. Before I leave you though, a little bit of extra input from usual on these videos. Disappointing week last week, so I feel I owe you. First round leaders, something to consider. CT Pan for me, 2 top 10 finishes in the first round over his last four events. silver medalist who's proven that he can perform on tough tracks. He finished in the top 5 here last year. He's also coming in on with some momentum, 4 under par on his final round at the Tough Genesis last week, where he finished in the top 10 at 75 to 1. First round leader, I think he's someone to consider for sure. And in the terms of top 20 selections, we talked about him in the outrights, but I think Keith Mitchell's got an outstanding chance this week. 6 to 4 in the UK, BetMGM also 6 to 4. He is a standout bet for me this week in the top 20 markets. Those of you that are playing Draftkings, maybe this will help you with your lineup. So when you're looking to fill them with some low-priced players who also have low ownership that give you some potential upside with little downside. These are players that I won't go into all the details why I've chosen them, because you can get that by signing up to the newsletter that's in the description box below. But we've got David Lipsky, really underrated for this test, I believe. Bryson Bagoon. In terms of par 3 scoring, ball striking, that boy's right up there. Has he got the consistency to do it over 4 days? No, of course not. He's not going to win this tournament, but he's someone who can make the cut and push up that leaderboard. And another player to consider, Matthew Naismith. This is an iron test, remember, this week. Well, over the last 50 rounds on difficult scoring tracks, he sits in the top 5 on the whole of this PGA Tour in terms of strokes gained. And he's also dialed in from that key range of 150 to 200 yards. There's something to consider there if you're playing DraftKings. We've got Lipsky, Naismith, and his name escapes me, sorry. Lipsky, Naismith, and the other one that I mentioned, I'm sorry, I completely lost my line. Aaron Rise, another that I would throw into the mix there as well. He sits in the top 20 for tee to green performance, strokes gained approach, bogey avoidance. Again, can't win this tournament, but someone who can make the cut and build out your DFS lineups. Thank you for listening this week. Apologies for the video being late. Let's hope that we can have a better performance last week. I'm confident on a few of these selections. Most confident about Brooks and Keith Mitchell. Thanks for listening. Good luck this week, and please subscribe, like, sign up to that news.